Okay, let's talk about how we can use angle of elevation. So here's a question. Suppose an airplane is at an altitude of 4,200 feet, and the angle of elevation from the airport to the airplane is 34 degrees. What is the horizontal distance from the plane to the airport? Okay, so I'm just going to make some really terrible drawings. Here's an airport, and up in the air is an airplane. All right, suppose the airplane is at an altitude of 4,200 feet. That means its distance above the ground is 4,200 feet. The angle of elevation from the airport to the plane, so that means if you take a line and draw from the airport looking up to the plane, angle of elevation means we have a horizontal line here and we are opening upward. That angle is 34 degrees. Okay, right, here's our picture so far. Our airplane is 4,200 feet straight in the air, and looking upward, the angle that makes from the airport to the airplane is 34 degrees. They want to know what is the horizontal distance from the plane to the airport. Horizontal, remember, is from side to side, so that's basically how far is it from here to here, horizontally from the airport to the plane. That is the distance we would like to find. To find that, we are going to have to use either sine, cosine, or tangent. We cannot use the Pythagorean theorem because we only know one of the sides. So remember when we solved problems like this, we followed some steps. Our first step was to decide what are we going to need to use here, sine, cosine, or tangent. So you look at the sides of the triangle you have. Here's my right angle. So this would be my hypotenuse. I don't know anything about my hypotenuse. I have this side, which for my angle, notice is the opposite side. So here's my opposite. And for this angle, the part I'm looking for is the side adjacent to it. So I have opposite and adjacent. What uses opposite and adjacent? Hopefully you have in your notes what sine, cosine, and tangent are equal to. And if you do, you will notice that the tangent of an angle is equal to the opposite over the adjacent leg. We need to use tangent because that's what we have our information to find. We can't use sine or cosine because you have to have hypotenuse for both of those. Now that we've decided to use tangent, we set up our equation. Tangent of the angle, what was the angle? 34 degrees. Is equal to the opposite leg. So for our angle, the leg opposite was 4,200. Divided by the adjacent leg, which happened to be x, the part we're looking for. Now we have to solve this equation. Now when x is in the bottom of the fraction, the first thing you have to do is multiply by x to get it out. Whatever you do on one side of the equation, you have to do the same on the other. So now I have x times the tangent of 34 is equal to 4,200. Okay, from there, I still need to solve for x. It's times the tangent 34. Tangent 34 is just a number that we can calculate using our calculator. So I do the same. The opposite of multiplying by the tangent of 34 is to divide by tangent 34. So that's exactly what I do. And I get my x is going to be 4,200 divided by the tangent of 34. You're going to use your calculator to calculate that. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode when you're calculating. Okay, and if you need to find the tangent of 34 and then divide by 4,200, that is fine also. But what you should get here is that x is equal to 6,226.75. It wanted it to the nearest foot. The nearest foot would be 6,227 feet. That is the horizontal distance from the airport to the airplane.